Hello, good morning. Sorry for the lapse in videos on this channel, but I've been very busy with going back to New Guinea and attending the graduation of my stepdaughter. And this morning I watched a few videos from catching up on videos from various ones that I follow. And has nothing to do with my subject or thought for my day. As I say, whatever comes up in my mind is what comes up in my thought of the day. For, I suppose, about 12 hours now, I've been trying so hard, to reduce all of my Facebook accounts, hence Messenger, whatever they are, they're all linked. How frustrating it is when you, years later, you had a Facebook account. You haven't used it for years, but there you find old photos that you haven't seen for years too. And so you try and copy them. If you can't copy them, you screenshot them so you've got them on your current phone. And then you try and delete the account. And of course, then you find out that the account's linked to an Australian telephone number. Not easy. So you try the links to your existing phone number. You try the links to emails. They send you links and you put the things in they ask and you change the password, all just one password, so that you can go back later and change them individually, the ones you want to keep. But of course, nothing's easy in this technological world that we live in, especially if you're trying to do it on a phone. And you're 77 as well. You can feel your blood pressure rising. And what can you do? You just have to. I've done this before. I have memories of doing it. I did it when I was living in New Guinea, and it frustrated everybody around me because it gets you so like this. One day and it's easy, another day it's hard. But I'm trying to get it down so I have just two. One that I use now and one I suppose is a spare in case I have a catastrophe and the other one is inaccessible for the moment. Then I'll have to go through the same process. But I think I have a 5 additional names. Not names, but individual different accounts. And it's just so hard. You Google how to do it, you follow the links, and you do it, and then it says, will you send it? And then somehow it links to your WhatsApp, which you don't use anymore. And you're not sure which WhatsApp it is. So, as you can imagine, it's very frustrating. So this morning I'm filled with frustration. I'm filled with pissed offness, if there's such a word. And I'm sure there's moments that you also go through, just like me. I'm just a person. Yes, I was born in England. Yes, I spent a lot of my years in Australia. So I'm a Brit living in the Philippines, but also stroke Australian, but also on the end, a little bit of New Zealand. But as you all know, there's been trials and tribulations in my life too. Way, way before I came here. That's all right. I can deal with those. They're gone. They're shed. But here in the Philippines, sure enough, you've always got something that will occupy your mind and do it. And some people say, some of my friends, Western friends, say, Johnny or John, I think maybe you think too deeply. Yeah, I agree now. I hands up, I agree. But That's me. Some of you think little bit by little bit and don't let it worry you. Or I envy you. I tried to explain a situation yesterday to a Filipina about how one feels about individuals here, past or present, and how the feeling of meeting my grandchildren for the first time as young teenagers of my two boys in Australia, and how I stood in a pool hall with my son Michael and his half brothers, or should I say his brothers. I'm the creator after all. But it was a strange feeling. I sort of felt like Fred McMurray, my three sons, except I have four. There's an additional one, Adam, in England. And they ranged from, and I now know how to remember. The other day I remembered it. You know, as we get older, it's not that we forget their name, but we forget how old they are. My son, Tony, my first son, my eldest son, born in Australia, lives in Australia, along with his brother and his half sisters. But that's after me, that is. But he's easy for me to remember. I was around 20 when I got married. His mother was up the duff at that time. So that makes him almost 67. Is that right? 67? No, 57. Sorry, Tony. 57. Because if I'm 77, he's 40 years. Anyway, you know what I mean. Anyway, I know he's 57. Then I have Jason, who was born about 18 months later, so that makes him maybe 55. Again in Australia. And then, of course, I got Michael. Easy to remember that. I was 40. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Michael, I know, was pretty close to Jane's age. So he's about 46, 47. Sorry, Michael. Again, I told you, memory. And then also my youngest son that is, Adam. Sorry, I wasn't forgetting his name, I'm just trying to get it on my tongue. And he, of course, I was 40 when I fathered him, or his mother did anyway. And so that makes him 37. Oh, he's handsome. He's handsome like Michael. We all think that about our kids. But back to my point that I'm making. I'm all over the place, as you can see. Meeting them was a mixture of excitement, that's my grandchildren, and connecting with something that I should have felt connected to in an emotional way. And because I hadn't had any interaction with them as they grew up to become young teenagers, I missed the connection between all the different years. But I connect them by not only blood, but also emotionally by the fact that they're my grandchildren. Please don't ask me how many grandchildren I've got, because I've got great-grandchildren as well. I think there's about 14 grandchildren. See, you told me not to tell you, but I did. And I think the great-grandchildren amounts to maybe 3 now already. Again, I look at them in fondness. They all came from me and their mothers. And there's a certain pride that you feel. The same kind of pride, strangely, is attached to my 2 stepdaughters, Jane's daughters. Why? Because I spent 10 years with them. I watched them grow from minor teenagers to young women, and now a mother, and now a graduate. So again, I'm filled with enormous pride that everybody's come out almost unscarred. And it's a great joy to have experienced being there for a big moment in Jera's life the other day on Thursday. And today is a sort of a day of frustration trying to sort out my Facebook accounts, or should I say, trying to delete the ones that are no longer possible, no longer wanted. I will struggle through, I know, for the rest of the weekend, feeling more frustrated, but hopefully end up with just two. So please bear with me. I will get back in the saddle sooner or later. It is a hard course to row sometimes, but I am doing it. I'm sort of this way, pulled that way. So having done that, hopefully the future will be clearer and less muddled for everybody involved. So hang in there, guys. The old John will come back eventually. And I thank you for your support and your wonderful comments, no matter how crazy some of them are. You know, it's people that spend the time to make a comment, a good comment. Some of you make almost a book, but it's well worth it. So if you're still on the other channel, fine, great to see you on both. But I hope that this channel eventually grows as well. With all the changes that have come in, or should I say the spotlight being put on the Privacy Commission, I think that in the end things will calm down. And a lot of what is being said is scaremongering, misinformation, and not maybe deliberate, but probably just through everybody has their opinion. I will carry on doing, hopefully on both channels, the same content, letting you have my thought for the day, and also little twists and little turns, and hopefully provide you with my sort of Walter Klondike view on my daily life here in the Philippines. So don't forget to thumbs up, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And best of all, you have a really great weekend. And for those in America, I hope the 4th of July was a big happy event. We all need big happy events, don't we? Bye now.